Austria, traditional home of many great things. Apple strudel, Mozart, Niki Lauda. Oh, and of course, one of the finest high-speed racetracks on the planet. We're right in the thick of the season now, and the championship battle is hotting up. But if there's any race that stands to rip up the form book, it's this one. The Red Bull Ring then, 700 metres above sea level. This tough circuit may only have 9 corners, but they're fast and they're bumpy. It's a true test for any racing driver. We have 2 DRS zones, and watch out for overtakes into turn 2 as the uphill entry helps those trying to be the last of the late breakers steam up the inside. Anthony Davidson joins me to talk you through the action here today at what is quite an unusual racetrack, wouldn't you say, Ant?
Yeah, it's quite an odd layout around here. The thing about Austria is that it's a harder circuit to master than what really meets the eye. On top of that, it's a low grip surface, and that means that your small mistakes end up being punished, and it's very easy to slide wide into the runoff area and lose a huge chunk of time. Luckily, because it's such a short circuit though, you have plenty of opportunities to perfect the lap.
We need a good result today to cement your #1 status. If we continue to underperform, we might lose it.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, with Nico Rosberg alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel and Ricciardo, a McLaren, Bottas, Kvyat and Jenson Button, Massa, Perez, Carlos Sainz and Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Wehrlein, Esteban Gutierrez and Rio Haryanto, Magnussen and Nasser, Marcus Ericsson and Jolyon Palmer rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
I could really do with some apple strudel run about now. That would be lovely. So it's going to be a sunny race today. Hello, my name's Lovespuds. Get that out of the way. F1 2016, it's round 9, it's Austria. So ploughing our way through the season nicely. We start off on our formation lap. So let's go and have a look at our qualifying. See how we get on there. So, no problems in qualifying, through to Q3 pretty easily. I've just done a couple of laps. This is like our 3rd run, I think. I mean, obviously we set off on the tyres that we qualified on Q2, so we don't need to worry about ruining this set. But we set the fastest first sector, so it's looking good. We're half a second up already. We're sitting at 8th. We've already beaten Button. We've met our objective of 9th, so 8th is fine. Kind of wide around that corner, unfortunately. Still half a second up. We're still purple, but it's this last sector that gets us, I think. Line through that corner, we've lost 2/10, and there's the next couple of corners go wide there as well, which costs us another 1/10. Last corner's fine, so 2/10 up on our delta. Unfortunately not going to be the fastest, but it's a pretty good time nonetheless, even if it only moves us up 1 place to 7th. So not too shabby. So we're going to start off the race now. It's looking good. Very good start there. Ahead of Ricciardo and 2 Ferraris there. Oh, straight into Max again. We seem to have a problem with, with Max. That must be our 3rd collision together. Unfortunately, that was completely my fault going into the first bend. Too much speed. That's the word I'm looking for. So, me and Verstappen's going to be the story of this race. You'll see how it goes. You may notice that this video is slightly shorter, and that's not to do with the shorter track length, because there's still 18 laps. It kind of surprises me. I would have expected there to have been 20, considering it's a faster lap than Monaco, but you never know. Don't quite know how it's worked out precisely, but I do like this track. It's a fast track. You've got to get your braking spot on. And we're up in 4th, so that's a good start. We're on the ultra soft tyre. Going to go on to the super softs. I did this deliberately to get an ultra soft set, I think, unless that's just how my allocation worked, I'm not sure. But Rosberg is going slow for some reason. I was going to follow Verstappen on the inside, but I thought better of it, and then I ended up going up wide, and then falling victim to Kimi, out the inside, and took that position away. So my reluctance may have saved my car, but it cost me a position as well. But there seems to be a problem with Rosberg. After a good qualifying lap, he's falling back down the field. 4th, go around the outside. It's never going to happen quite there. I wasn't expecting him to be as slow as that round the corner, to be honest. So as we come around to complete the 2nd lap, we're in 5th. Not looking too shabby, although you do have Ricciardo coming up behind again.
DRS is now available.
Yep, and DRS. So it's looking like it's going to be an interesting race anyway. Obviously I know what happens by the end, but see, there'll be a lot of action, only a few laps where nothing's going on. But we are very quick. We are on a faster tyre as well, so that's going to help. So we're back up to 4th. Rosberg down to 5th, considering he started 2nd. That's a bit of a... it's going to be annoying for him. That just leaves Hamilton to bugger off into the distance again. But then again, there is actually a fight in this championship between them two, and it's not like one horse race so far. Looks like we're going to get fastest lap if we can nail this 3rd sector, which would be nice, be something. Didn't take those corners that well though, to be honest. Going to get some DRS action going on. No, not the fastest lap, no. 2.8 seconds. Verstappen and Raikkonen having a bit of fight up front. Be careful of Rosberg behind, he can still come up and attack. But Raikkonen gets past Verstappen. I'm nearly going to the back of Verstappen, but luckily I avoided him this time. I suppose I'm giving him a bit of payback for past couple of Grand Prix, especially Spain. Really pissed me off, but we'll let bygones be bygones. At least that's the plan anyway. Raikkonen up to 2nd, Verstappen in 3rd. I'm going to try and make a move on him. I don't want to be too rash, otherwise I will mess it up if I try and fly at him like a silly sausage. But he's going off into the pits, so I'm not going to see him for a while. So now would be possibly a good idea to turn up fuel soon. Not quite sure when I do it, but it does happen. Probably when he calls me into the pits. But still, 3rd, it's looking good so far. I've got good pace on this circuit, and I'm hoping for some decent points. But unfortunately it does go a bit wrong later down the line. I really want to tell you right now what happens, but yeah, you'll see when you get there. Unless you skip, of course, which you're more than entitled to do. I'm not going to stop you. How can I? So let's see how these next couple of laps go. I've got a little bit of a train behind me, but it's not that bad. Once I start picking up the pace a bit better, should spread out a bit. But already coming up to lap 6, making progress. And as I say, it is a short lap, only a few seconds quicker than Monaco. Right, now I think I'll start changing up. When I go past this corner, might be an option. There it goes. Goes up to Rich. See if I can make up some ground, try and make a good in-lap. Obviously I will make up for Azerbaijan. Seeing as that wasn't very good at all. Yeah, the gap is increasing slightly, depends on the drive I get out of these corners. Slightly wide there, missed the apex a little bit. Could be worse, but I don't think I'll take this corner too badly, it's alright. But I'm coming into the pits, so I need to be aware, that's a bit wide as well. It's actually quite tricky, you're going around these corners at high speeds, you want to be very careful. You can lose so much time. But I did practice this a few times coming into the pits, and it will break eventually. There we go. Doesn't matter how much I lock up. After all, these tyres are going to come off and basically be disposed of or recycled, whatever they do with these tyres. Do get screwed here though, unfortunately. It'd be nice if they could release me a bit like earlier, but well, I have a race down to the pit lane, that would be fun, but that's not obviously possible just yet. Button goes past, we do lose some positions because of that slow pit stop, and that's a bit of a pain in the arse. So just flying around that corner, 20th, just going to get back past Kvyat. He's faster than I expected, so I'm going to have to cover the inside line. Lock up slightly, but that's no big deal. So we're just going to come up behind Button, see if we can take him. As the next victim on the list. As I say, I've got some good pace around this circuit, I don't see why it could go wrong. Purple sector there actually, I think. Judging by the site, the track map. So it's looking good. We've got a massive train of cars up ahead. And this is due to the yellow cars, the Renaults, going extremely slow and holding everyone up. But no one's getting past, and it's kind of, again, a flaw in the AI, but, you know. Considering the AI actually fight you around corners, it's one of the better AIs of these games, but it's still got strange issues like this where they cannot get past for some reason. I'm just going to go around the outside if I can, which kind of does work actually. Nearly got a bit of bad wheel spin and went into Ricciardo, but managed to hold it and keep it away from him. It seems to be only Verstappen that I crash into, so speaking of him, he's up front there. Rosberg's in with this mix as well, so I lost position to him. Hulkenberg's got a problem with his car. Don't know where he is, maybe he's in this group somewhere. Who knows? But at the moment I'm just trying to pick my way through this field and try not to get bashed. Don't quite have the speed to get past Bottas. I'm going to try and break up the inside. Nearly got Rosberg as well. But seeing as he was making a move up the inside of Magnussen, I thought it was best just to back off a little bit. I think we're doing okay. We're climbing back up to the points. That was a bit messy coming out of there, but as you can see, it does happen in my races. Some corners, yeah, I get on the power a bit too early. After all, we do not have traction control on. No, we're not going to see any rain. It's going to be a nice sunny day in Austria with gorgeous scenery. But Perez is actually out in front. He's in the lead at the moment, so I assume he hasn't pitted yet. After all, he does have a history of looking after tyres, so maybe that's carried on into the game, I don't know. So, DRS again. 10th lap. It's looking good. We're climbing back into the points. We just need to get up to Verstappen and obviously get past Rosberg first. Then we'll be on track for a good finish. But this group, you know, whenever AI cars bunch up like this, it is dangerous, and that is annoying as well. How slow they can be, because they don't get over the logic of being in a queue. You know, they fight the human player as much as possible going around bends, but they won't fight each other that much, which is kind of odd. But anyway, Palmer's holding up everyone. Nearly went into the back of Verstappen. Hulkenberg has got a problem with his car, so he's holding us up as well. So we've got two slow cars for the price of one. So we're saying that Hulkenberg's now fixed the issue with his car. So I'm going to try and get a good run out of this corner. And this is where it all goes wrong. So, get a good run out of that corner. Try overtake Palmer up the inside, but he blocks that and I'll go up the other side. But then what happens? Hello, Max. And that's my race over. Let's have a replay of that. So, coming round to the final bends. And I have no idea what's happened to the frame rate there. It's kind of weird. Oh no, I know why. It's because I'm watching it in a preview mode. And yes. And this is going to be on board with Max. So you can see me come up on the right there, going past, going for Palmer. Palmer goes to the right, so I go left. Plenty of room for me. Obviously not enough room for Max, and you know, that's what happens. It's pretty annoying. So that's part of the replay just in there. Hopefully I'll edit that out, but I probably won't now. But that's me walking back to the pits off the back of a moped. Brilliant. Another race ruined.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Well, I think the track conditions just really suited their car today. Wind, track temperature, you name it. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature. So the more easily you can keep them there, the better your race tends to go. And that's exactly what happened. Their car just looks so comfortable out there.
So as I say that, we can see the drivers coming out now to collect their trophies. It's yet more silverware to take back to their base in Brackley after another excellent Grand Prix.
Right, and there we go. And we actually get to see the race results at the end. Actually, managed not to skip it. So Jensen finished in 13th. I finished dead last because I was the only one that didn't finish. And Verstappen ended up 17th. So, yeah, it buggered both our races.
And now let's take a look at the drivers' standings. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
I'm going to say Carlos Sainz. It was probably one of his best drives this season and I was thoroughly impressed.
On to the constructors then. Mercedes have extended their lead at the top of the standings. It was also a standout performance from Manor Racing today. Great stuff from them to move up the standings. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
Oh well, with the gift of hindsight, if I knew that was going to happen to me and that was going to end up giving Max no room to manoeuvre, obviously I would have just slammed on the brakes. I wouldn't have come across like that, but there was enough room. It's not as if Max couldn't have seen me coming. But anyway, you make up your own minds about that. We're currently drawing the rivalry between me and Ricardo. Hopefully I'll maybe win that in a qualifying session or practice session, I don't know. It's only 3 points left, but we're still in the purple, which is fine. We're the first driver, that's fine, we still get our bonuses and such bollocks like that. So that's my career score, up to 60,000. Back to the paddock, and just looking at the laptop here, I'm just going to have a look at my research and development. So that's where we're at currently. I'm just deciding whether to spend my points on that fuel efficiency thing, but I think I'm going to hold off and wait for the chassis weight to do that as the next upgrade, because I want to make like huge leaps rather than little tiny ones at the moment. But anyway, I'll see you next time, and I believe it's Britain next. See you then.